Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share the messages that I forget from Spirit and from all of our higher selves that are helping us on this journey to unconditional love. Love the journey, love the soul group, that are most definitely helping us back into our divine unions. And I do divine love healing, so I can connect to your souls and get you the messages that your souls want you to know, to put you on your highest path. And as well as that, I also do a divine love crystal grid, which uses pieces of rose quartz. And when you meditate with the rose quartz and have the intent to send unconditional love out to your twin and out to raise love and light on the planet, it literally anchors in the energies of as above, so below, and anchors in unconditional love, because it's all based around the forest lovers who are entwined together around the oak tree for eternity. And there are pieces of rose quartz crystal going all the way around the world. And so the fact that we're doing this and we're anchoring in the love and light energy with the crystal, that's an amplifier. And then, of course, the reaching of the grounding of the energies into your physical reality. The power of doing it collectively is huge. The power of doing anything is collectively much bigger, right? And so as a twin flame, you have a massive energy anyway. And so by adding it to the grid and adding the crystals and adding the collective intent, it's like sticking it into a big amplifier. And so, firstly, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who sent healing to Tristan. And unfortunately, very sadly for his family, but he's at peace now, because when they turned off the life support machine, he unfortunately passed away. But, you know, that was obviously for him. He's at peace and he's in a much better place now. But it does make you think that this is exactly what we are here to do, is to change, you know, some things happened yesterday. One is that there was this TV program with this incredibly alpha male person on it who said that he couldn't eat certain food and couldn't do this, and it was really, really quite unpleasant. And then later on in the evening, there was a documentary for Prince. And throughout this documentary, there were so many signs that, I mean, I'm just going to list a few of them, but basically, he had a troubled childhood. He didn't feel the love of his parents. He was sexualized very early as a child, which meant that he couldn't really understand it. He spent his life, you know, obviously he was a most genius musician. His albums reached, I think they were like, his first album, 22 million. The number references all through it were just incredible. But the main message was, and then, you know, he had a tragic life. He suffered so much loss and pain, and it was all because of his childhood. And he didn't feel that he had the love that he didn't feel loved as a child. And so the fact, and then after the documentary, there then became, then Purple Rain came on, the film. Now that is the last film that I watched with my twin when we were, you know, actually together, or I spent any sort of considerable time with him, which was, I suppose, I don't know how many years ago now, 4 years ago maybe. And so it was really, really significant, because when I started watching Purple Rain again last night, it came on. It was the last film that I watched with my twin. Not only that, though, the opening of the film I had completely forgotten. He drives her into a wood, and there is a scene where she jumps into the river. Now, if you follow these messages, as I said before, everything runs into everything, runs into everything. Everything is always connected. And a lot of the time in people's healings, I see there's a scene in The Notebook where she is frightened to jump into the water, and there is a swing, and Ryan Gosling, or Noah, is the character. Oh my God, I just realised something. Okay. Noah tells her to get into the water, right? So, and this scene is also a similar scene. It's in a different context, but similar scene in Purple Rain. Now, Purple Rain has massive, 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 massive symbology for me. And of course, what does Prince change his name to? Symbol. And the whole documentary is about the fact that in the end, in his last days, he basically went straight back to doing a piano concert, which was just having, you know, he was just playing the piano, and it was just him and the piano. And that's what his dad, that's what he wanted from his dad, and that's what his dad did. So all through his life, he was seeking that love and approval from his parents, right? Now, why that is so important is because in yesterday's healings for people, what I saw was that it was exactly that. So that there were healings where they had done things as children, which their parent, basically that they weren't getting the love that they needed when they were children, and they couldn't understand that, and so therefore they had shut themselves off and put themselves in a box because they were too frightened to let anyone in, because they couldn't bear the thought of having that feeling that they weren't loved by their children and have that happen again. Sorry, by their parents. So when I had done the healings yesterday, and then that was on TV last night, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been seeing in people's healings. Very much so about this, feeling about, vulnerable, about guilt and shame about this sex thing. Everything that I'd seen in healings was then in this documentary last night. So it was quite poignant. Now, the reason why, so the song for today is Purple Rain. And when I searched for it, there was a rendition that was done by a guy called Adam Levine. And he is a singer from a band called Maroon 5. Now, why I just said, so when I just looked at that, somebody has made a comment to say that his middle name is Noah. And just as I'm doing this video now, I now realise why I was drawn to that clip. Because Noah, again, is the character in The Notebook who tells her to jump into the lake, right? Now, again, in the rendition that Adam Levine has done is quite astounding. And Maroon 5 is the number of change, right? So, again, I mean, it's just the other thing that happened, which just, you see, there is a lady that I do healing for, and she is in quite very close contact with her twin quite a lot. And so it's really interesting because she can see directly the impact of the healing on, on what happens. And so I did a healing for her yesterday, and I saw connections coming from energy calls coming from the sacral chakra to between three of them. And also I saw her divine masculine counting out on his, basically thinking, okay, how am I going to, do this situation? And it was quite a specific thing that he was doing. And she came back to me, and of course there was a song as well. So the song was Homeward Bound by Simon and Garfunkel. Now, she came back to me and she said, oh my God, no way, because she had actually met up with her twin, and these three people that I'd seen, they were talking about their sacral chakras. Not only that, but the other thing that I saw, she was like, and that's exactly what he does. So, that for me is like the best thing, because it just gives me, again, 100% confirmation that the healing that we're doing goes through to the physical aspects of themselves at the right time for them, right? Which is why, again, I was just kind of like blown away. The other lady that I did another healing for, bless her, she wrote like 15 things down of all of the messages and links that came through from the healing around the songs that she got received and everything. And that's what's so amazing, because it really does open the doorway for you to get more and more and more things from your twin to give you, because, and this is why, because your twin spirit wants you to be together. The universe wants you to be together. That's why they are giving us all of these signs and syncs and messages and everything. The documentary last night about Prince was so spot on to everything that I've been seeing in people's healings. The fact that he didn't feel loved as a child, the fact that he felt guilt and shame over sex, the fact that he lost so much through his life, and was always and felt alone. He always felt alone. He had one love of his life, and he, through the miscarriage of their death of their child. Oh, the child, guess what his child's name was? Boy. So, again, I mean, the thing is that there's just messages all the way throughout everywhere, and it is quite quite a beautiful journey, because you can see, you know, that we are so supported on this journey. So I'm just going to do a healing again for the Kuan Yin, and I'm going to dedicate this to Tristan. So and all of his family, and to the lady on the grid. So